Coming up tonight, this could be fun as Joe goes on holiday. Dale Hunter gets all competitive on the race wall. Rick attempts to get his head round DC leakage. Plumber takes on the Electricians challenge. Joe 3PO steps in for Gordon. You know it's eFIXX TV, you know it's fortnightly, and you know it's on Facebook and on YouTube. And we've got an exciting topic today. I'm going to read it word for word so you get it clearly in your mind. Electricians scared of aircon installs? Let's be honest. And that's all about being honest tonight and opportunity. We're all about opportunities here. And you might have noticed from the intro that we're slightly different because the voiceover was there. And you don't look like Gordon Routledge. So there must be some changes this evening. Welcome aboard, Joe.
Thank you for having me along. And yes, it's going to be a really interesting one because I'm going to lie to you, I'm a little bit scared of AC, as you know.
Alternating current?
No, air conditioning.
Okay.
Yeah, air conditioning. Or is it air conditioning?
I'd like to call it air to air, and I'd like to call it air to heat. And we're going to come across those terminologies as we go through today. But when I think of air conditioning, I think of a certain thing. What do you think about when you think about air conditioning?
Well, just, cooling you down. I think of having a nice margarita, perhaps in a nice bar abroad somewhere, nice and sunny and stuff like that. And and the SY cable as well.
Yes.
Here's one I made off, actually.
Yes, absolutely. And it was in the notes. You just forgot. There was
just
nothing about your holiday.
There's nothing about margarita.
So again, it's often, is it? You think of air conditioning units. We're all there as electricians. We like to look at other people's work, and we may suggest that the choice of SY Flex seems to be slung around liberally.
Well, I have got some.
Have you got some?
I've got some photos.
Some of your old work. Right, let's bring in some of your old work. I'm excited.
Bring it up, Rick.
You're a man of master. So bring in the iPad, and we'll see what your work looks like. Is there a whiff of SY Flex in there?
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, but why?
I don't know why we haven't got the screen in. Where's Joe when we need him? So he's having a world of pain. We cannot see his screen. Oh, it's gone off. We'll work on that. Carry on as we go. You sort that out. I'll carry on with the show. Air conditioning for me also brings in some very fond memories. So I think about when I was training. So I did my full apprenticeship. And one of the guys I worked with, he decided during his apprenticeship to go off and add at the very end of it, aircon, refrigerant, okay? He went off and I was just pleased to stumble over the line and get my qualification. I didn't mock him at the time, but I thought, well, hang on a minute, we're electricians. Why are we going off and doing a bit of AC, a bit of air conditioning? He's currently a multi-millionaire, owns a number of properties across the UK, as well as establishing a very good business on the back of AC. He's now also into heat source and air source and ground source and solar and battery. And the guy's done incredibly well for himself because he saw an opportunity 25 years ago. And we're going to delve into it today and find out that opportunity hasn't missed us, has it? Have you got your pictures ready?
I think, yeah, the pictures.
Let's bring your pictures in now. Ooh, some of your better work I noticed there.
Yeah. That one, yeah. Obviously, the leaves aren't mine.
No.
But no, I mean, isn't this what we think when we think of an air source, an air conditioning?
Air-to-air system, yes.
Air-to-air.
Okay, yeah,
installation.
absolutely. You've got another picture?
We've got SY cable there.
Lovely. Cable of choice. Liberal use of tie wraps. I like it. It's lost a little bit of its original silver colour. It's a little bit more brown in colour.
I think so, yeah. There's probably got a bit of water ingress as well, just where it loops around in the corner.
And if you're really lucky, you can actually get it where it will shell or shed its outer skin like a snake, which I always think is great. And if you've ever been onto a rooftop where you find the plastic shell of it away from the actual weapon itself. So.
But isn't this what electricians, this is all I've ever done when it comes to air conditioning. It's that between the outdoor unit and the indoor unit, or as I'm probably going to be corrected later, the head unit, I was always used to call it.
Okay, I don't know.
The indoor unit, but it was always that, that talking cable between the two.
Okay, well, we've just mentioned an incredibly successful electrician that I worked with during my time. Now, I think if we look into the green room, we can see an incredibly successful electrician over there. We've got Dale Hunter. He's our inaugural winner of a 30 under 30 award, and he's joining us today because he's going to be the electrician looking at the opportunity. And who's going to give us the opportunity from Daikin?
This is Ian. We've got Ian Bevan from Daikin. He's he's going to tell us all about himself when he comes on board, isn't he?
Yes, it's Daikin, so we've done him twice. He went absolutely nuts behind that. So he's from Daikin. So let's bring him in. Let's have him in here now. We've finished winding up Clive. I'll let round the corner. So, Dale, take a seat, please. Yes. Ian, take a seat.
Thank you.
So, fantastic. So, all about opportunities, but of course, everyone's thinking about their opportunity in a few minutes. And in order to know where they can win one of our wonderful prizes and get to speak to Jenny, we need a little bit of your background. Well, we're going to bit of yours, Dale. So, can you give me in 60 seconds all about yourself so the people can maybe wonder whether they're backing you as the winning horse in the Electricians Challenge?
Well, of course you can, guys. So my background is the electrical industry. I'm the owner and director of A10 Electrical Solutions. We've been up and running for 3 years. I've been in the trade for over 10 years now. I've done my apprenticeship over a 4-year period, and I'm really excited generally to see what the future holds for the electrical industry. Everything seems bright.
And you said to me you're getting married in 2026 as well when you arrived. You've recently got engaged as well. So we just thought I'd put that one out there. If you are watching it, it will be a wedding sooner than you think. So that's brilliant. Ian, OK, from Daikin. So
from Daikin.
We've wound him up enough. No, we're going to go with the right one. He's moved into shop now, so you can see us to look. Give yourself 60 seconds, your electrical background if you've got one, and obviously a little bit about yourself.
60 seconds. So, yeah, I did a construction degree. I ended up in the heating industry. So I worked in the heating industry for Glowworm originally, which then became Valent as a part of the Valent group. I left there to set up my own plumbing and heating contracting business. So I did that for a while, mainly in the new build sector, but a bit of retrofit, a bit of refurb. And then I really wanted to get into the renewable market. And I had the opportunity to join Daikin, which was 14 years ago now, to help as they started up the air-to-water heat pump business here in the UK.
And it seems like that's such a long time ago when we're now talking about green technologies and the move away from gas. That you saw it as an exciting opportunity some 14 years ago.
Yeah.
OK. It's got a whiff of a plumber about you. Is that true?
Well, I
didn't mention that word,
I had a plumbing and heating contracting business. So
it still sounds like plumbing. You've got heating in there as well.
Yeah, and heating in there, but very little electrical work, as you might have not noticed. But,
right. Well, we'll see. And he's playing it a little bit coy here, folks. Do not get suckered in by a plumber, as I would suggest.
Yeah, I'd agree.
We're going to bring the time up. Hopefully you've got now 60 seconds to make a decision. Remember, as always, in this, we have to decide, first of all, do you think it's Dale and add in the time, 3 minutes and 14 seconds? Or is it Ian in 14 minutes and 24 seconds? OK, it's up to you whether you want to choose those two. So first of all, it's the name. You only get one go. If you put 2 goes in and we find it, we will pull your prize. You only get 1 go in. It's picked, first of all, between Dale and Ian, and then pick the correct time.
I think you've been a bit unfair on Ian there.
Yeah, I'm trying to put people off. I'm trying to put people off. You know what I'm like for throwing a swerve ball. One week.
Good to have a plumber here, you know.
When we had the 2 lads in from Hager, obviously, I threw them. Only 2 people got the right person. Went for the youngest specimen that week. OK, so we've got 30 seconds. Get those votes in. Hopefully we're seeing them pouring coming in, and then we'll hopefully get a decent prize. It also means you get to speak to Jennifer, who is single and has got a date on the 22nd of December with me and several others at a black tie event.
I'm looking forward to that.
So Jenny is still open for an invitation to have a partner at the minute the sister's on standby. So again, if you want not just the prize, but the prize of all prizes, which is our Jennifer. Down, so hopefully she'll be in there. We're nearly there. We're running out of time. So I think you can get your times in, and we'll see whether it's the electrician or the plumber that's fastest on the Electricians Challenge.
Who's going first?
Normally the slowest. So here we go. Who's up first?
Who's up first?
And it is... Oh, it's not a good start, is it? So here we go. So Dale's up first. Remember, we have 3 runs at the race wall. This will be the fastest time, but not necessarily the fastest roll. That's a nice tattoo. I got cut off there. That is a lovely bit of ink. I always like it when people put a bit of colour in them. Are you going for the full sleeve, or are you going to stop there at the just under the sleeve of your arm?
For the professional manner, when I don't have this shirt on, I'm going to keep it at half sleeve.
OK, that's fine. I do like a tattoo. I'm not brave enough to have one myself, but I do appreciate a good piece of art in the ink variety on the body. Well, you're up there first time, so this is a solid looking start. And I'm sure everybody's already noticed a little flash of a gun there below the T-shirt, so it looks like you've seen the inside of a gymnasium. Is that true?
Nope.
No,
definitely not.
Naturally athletic.
This is all working on site.
OK, so here's one for you, folks. Anyone who uses a set of croppers is normally lightning fast. So that's the chosen tool of the top 3 on the race wall. You're out with a set of croppers. Who's the maker of the croppers?
Amazon special.
Amazon special.
Amazon
I like
special.
it. OK, yeah, it's good. There are other online retailers that can offer, sort of next day delivery, but maybe not. So we're in there. Got soft hands though, looking like maybe he's alluding to. I think it's all that workforce that he's got on board that's doing all the hard graft. I did like to say that I wanted to pick your screwdriver. It's not exactly straight. It does have a wobble with it, doesn't it, as it goes around? Is that something you thought increases speed, or is it the only one you had? Also looks like you probably use it for knocking behind skirting boards and architraves. Is that the case?
Yeah, in case you can't know, I also like to chew on my screwdriver as well.
Yeah, it does look well gnawed in, but your gnashes look fantastic, so it's not done you any disservice. Okay, so here we go. Are you going? Oh no, you're going for the separate piece. You could have gone for the one, but them croppers work tree, don't it? I love seeing an electrician who knows how to use a pair of croppers. Ping, 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 pang, pang. They're all off, and we're off and running. Just getting you ready for the quicker one, which is coming after this with Ian. So he's a plumber, but don't be overwaved by the speed that we're seeing here from Dale. You've also got a full set of hair, Dale. Your hair looks magnificent. Wonder if that will continue on through the whole of the Racewall series. Okay, so there we go. So just the connections in the socket outlet, and we're done. What's your thinking here, Joe?
He has got magnificent hair. It's exactly what I'm thinking. I mean, I've lost, you know, with the socket now. I'm just looking at Dale's hair.
DiCaprio, I'm thinking there from the top shot, and those early DiCaprio.
But he thinned out in the end, though.
You got there quick, didn't you?
He got thinner in the end. Well, you know, something that our plumber friend Ian here noticed as well.
Okay, yeah. Oh, what the hell? You're taking a battering there for the, DiCaprio 1 minute, Kojak the next. So there we go.
I'm more going for the Chris Hemsworth look, guys. You know, it's more the handsome sort of fella.
Yeah, okay, so we're only a couple of connections away from completing. This is rapid. I know it's probably had an edit, but that is pretty rapid. This is looking like a solid good time. Back in the teeth, I love it. And, no screwdriver needed for this, just the old hands. Oh, no, it's like the old TV knobs from back when there was only 4 channels when you're trying to tune them in. BBC One, BBC Two,
linear TV.
And BBC Three for a while, okay? And then we got the old ITV. Channel 4 was a real big thing. Good run. So we know who's next. It's the fastest person on the race wall this evening. It will be Ian from Daikin. So don't get it confused this time. We're off and running. There it is, folks. We see it nice and early. Gets in there.
Yeah,
wow. We're all over it. Yeah, it was inevitable, folks. Me and Ian both stand at 6'4". So when he came in, and actually when we looked at each other, there was a little bit of a nod of appreciation Ian gave me. That, well, you're fractionally taller than me, and I gave him the nod back to appreciate that he knew I knew. Oh, hang on, plumber's got confused. It's not a solid pipe here. Oh,
I think Dale tangled all that up before his mic.
No, I don't think so. They came off all right for Dale, didn't they? Here we go. So again, have you seen the inside of the gymnasium, Ian?
Not for a while.
No, it shows on that left arm, didn't it? So no, been to a tanning studio. Had a decent holiday recently. It's a bit milky, the old arms. So here we go.
I am from South Wales.
Yeah, well, yeah. It must feel really blistering hot here as it's 9 degrees and raining in
Skipton.
Did you know it was a race? It's just that you seem quite leisurely, okay, as you go through.
It's all about quality, though, isn't it?
It is.
It is about quality.
Yeah, and we're going to see some quality later on. We've got a feeling of that. We're sorry. Have you worked out, you just press the trigger on those, actually just press the handle down.
Worked that out halfway through.
A combination of twist as well. Oh, look at that. What are the chances? Just works, doesn't it?
I blame the tools, to be honest. They weren't mine. I left mine in the house.
Yeah. Methodical, this is absolutely methodical. Remember, folks, whoever's had to edit this has spent a lot of time trying to cut out some footage. You got a straight screwdriver, that's one of ours, that's good. Yeah. So we're into the Lewden consumer unit, the only people on the market that make a matte black consumer unit, and it is a fantastic piece. Lots of colleges up and down the country have been requesting them from Lewden. They've been sending them out to show students. I think it's a nice little touch, gives you an alternative to the standard white or cream. You're now even twisting them up. Remember, it is a race. Let's see these wonderful connections. There's an example. I think we saw it early on. A thing of beauty, that thing is. A thing of beauty, yeah. So we've got one in. Where's the other one? Here it is. Do you remember what the brown conductor's called, Ian? No, it's not called a...
Line.
Line, it is.
A line. Yes,
And what did you call it when you got here?
Live.
You did. And you called it AC when you got here, and that to correct you to air handle it. Oh, look at those babies. Oh, they came very close to touching each other, didn't they? What a fantastic job. I think the more plumbers that dabble with electricity, the better, I think, really. Especially with these air-to-heat systems coming out, like some people like to call air source heat pump. So we're good. We're still seeing that little bit of a thinning patch, but because you're so tall, nobody notices, do they?
Exactly.
Absolutely looks like a full head of hair from normal height. Obviously, I picked it up straight away. We're just a couple of connections, or as we like to call it, 6 minutes away from finishing. See the amount of copper showing on active conductors as well.
Did you used to do your own wiring centres when you know, back you do your own...
I'll let you guess whether I did or
valves
not.
And,
I'm saying yes from the ones I've seen in the past. I'm saying you were all over it. Here we go. So gently into the back of the socket. Another look at the sunroof, and then we're... Oh, you're coppering down. Look how quick that is. Look how rapid that was. See if you can do that again. Oh, no, that's... Yeah, that is sped up. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought you slowed it down a bit.
You could have started a fire if that wasn't. It was like 2 lumps of metal come together like 2 bits bits of flint and a bit of kindling, that would have gone up. So here we go. You've got to get to your feet. I bet you can do it from actually kneeling. You bang. Wow, there we have it.
Yeah. I'd be disappointed if I didn't beat Dale.
Yeah, I'll back you on that one, really. I absolutely back you on that one. Dale, how do you think it went for you?
Ooh, I'd like to have a positive mentality, so we're going to find out very shortly, I'm guessing.
Well, we're going to go first of all. Let's go with Ian first of all. Right. So Ian. So first of all, we've got 2 racehorses. We've got obviously this one here next to my lovely Sync EV chargers.
Yeah.
This would be really the fast charging end. This is at least 7 kilowatts. I'd say it's a 13 amp plug top down here. It's your granny cable down here. So are you down here with a fast charging BG, or are you over on the slow ball? What's your gut feeling?
I think you might, maybe down the bottom there.
Down the bottom. So we're talking 5:30. It's not 5:30, no. So do you think? Yeah. Well, Brucey, higher or lower than 5:30? We'll do that one for you.
Quicker, I think.
Quicker than 5:30.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Right, okay, so over here. So we're now wondering where we're placing. We'd like to be at the bottom of this board. There's nothing up here. I'd just like to say that run number 2 would have broke that record. Okay, it was, so let's put it into a bit of concept for you. Where would you have been? So where would you like to be on that? Is there any names that stick out at you that you'd like to beat?
Brendan Beaver.
Brendan Beaver. Where's Brendan Beaver? So that's a cool name. There. Would you be pleased if you broke?
I would be pleased if I broke that.
Yeah, you haven't. No, so I'm going to have to shuffle these around, not a lot actually. I'm going to move these ones up. So there's the 8 minutes. Do you think you did it in 8 minutes?
Yes.
Yes, you would think so. 8 minutes. You didn't do it in 8 minutes. There is a big gap though between 8 minutes and 7:14.
There is a big gap.
There is a big gap, but not anymore because you've just filled it in there. Ian, you did it in almost 8 minutes. As we like to call it, 7:56. Okay, so well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Ian.
You're officially the slowest plumber on the race wall. Okay, so that is good. We have had other... Right, Dale, which wall would you like to be on? Would you like to be over here with the fast charging? Your friends of yours over here with our EV, yeah? Sync Energy?
Yep.
You like to be over here? You are over here. But unfortunately, there is a friend of yours over here, isn't there? Who's your friend?
Harvey.
Harvey. And what time did Harvey did it? Hang on, let's make a gap there between Oh, that's the wrong Harvey.
I think it was...
Harvey here. So Harvey, 4:02. Is there a bit of banter on this one?
Definitely.
Do you think you've beat him?
I reckon I'll beat him.
Right, I can tell you, it starts with a 4. Okay, so he got 4:02.
Okay.
Next is a 0. Okay.
Okay.
Will Harvey give you any stick if you lose?
Probably.
So I'd like to tell you that you didn't do it in 4:02. You did it in 4:06, which is in outrageous territory. I'm afraid you're under Bridgman. So you've done it just there. You were 4 seconds slower. Oh, Dale. Fantastic. Right. Well done, Dale. Good time. Right. So hopefully somebody will get the burner phone number. We'll bring in Jenny's screen for us, and then they'll get an opportunity to call Jenny on the burner phone. Remember, we expect people, and only the person that gets the notification, to put the burner phone number in and ring up Jenny, and she will take your details, and then she will pass out the gift for you. Right. Well done, folks. I thought that was
well done.
The slowest plumber
Under 8
ever to
minutes.
take on the race wall. There's something to hold on to. 4 seconds.
Imagine if I had my own tools.
It is what it
He'll be
is.
WhatsApping you before you finish this show.
Soldering it, you'd been soldering those connections in, it would have been something else.
Yes, well, most of them are push fit, aren't they? Right, now, I'm sure people watching this are now thinking we're delving into the world of plumbing. Okay, so we need an opportunity, don't we? So we're looking at it. First of all, how difficult are they to install? So we're going to be maybe fitting something like this, an air-to-air system. Okay, first question up there, obviously we're going to get to money and all those type of things or opportunities, but how difficult are they?
I think it's like everything. It comes with experience. I think if you look at air-to-air or air conditioning, as people call it, and we look at the domestic market now, and it's heat pumps we're talking about, and there's air-to-water, as we said, and air source heat pumps, but we're talking here about air-to-air, and we're seeing a rise in air-to-air in the domestic market, in the residential market. How difficult are they to fit? They're not as difficult as people would imagine. There's specific requirements that you have to follow, like most things. But if you're an electrical contractor and you want to start looking at this technology and this opportunity, And yeah, I think there's a real opportunity because they're not as difficult as you might imagine.
Okay, well, we're on this side, we're on opportunity side. This guy takes every opportunity that comes his way. So give me a number. So if in residential installs in the UK this year, so in a 12-month period, how many AC or air conditioning units are going residentially?
So roughly speaking in total, air conditioning units, splits or multi-splits as we call them, around 120,000.
Sorry?
Around 120,000.
Wow.
It's a big market.
My mate got into it 20 odd years ago thinking, I thought it'd saturated the market. I thought the market would have been gone. So we're not talking commercial little offices or shops or bookies or anything like that. In a
smaller multi-split or split appliances, that's not the big hotels, office blocks, etc. That's smaller ones.
That's a big opportunity.
Yeah.
Wow.
So do you see that as an opportunity now? Did you realise the market was that big, 120,000?
Certainly not. No, definitely not. But it definitely seems like there's an opportunity there for many people that might want to jump on board now. As you say, the market is growing.
That market's still growing,
From conversations that we've had, I'm excited to see what will be coming to the market with air-to-air.
You're a domestic and commercial business predominantly, obviously dabbling a bit of industrial.
Yep.
Fits perfectly into that suite. If we've got 120,000 going in residential and you're working commercial, there's going to be lots of opportunities within commercial because they'll say maybe shop fit and then maybe the AC units there are a little bit older. What are we going to do with an older AC unit?
Well, it's going to need maintenance, it's going to need repair, isn't it? It's going to need an engineer to fix it.
How hard? So we've seen those big ones, I mean, and they tend not to hold their colour for very long, do they? When they've been there a while, 15 years or plus, you go in there and you think to yourself, it probably needs freshening up and maybe it's seen its life. And these things, and we've got one on the floor as well, they seem quite beautiful, okay? Yeah. We've got a nice design about them. How hard would it be for an electrician to take out an air-to-air unit and put in maybe a newer version one?
Well, like we said before, there's a large part of the work is electrical work. When you're fitting a heat pump, but particularly when you're fitting an air-to-air heat pump. So that's the part of the work that you guys already do. You know that part of the work. We touched on it about the requirements. There's an F-gas requirement. So that's probably one of the biggest changes you would have to think about.
Right, okay, so you say F-gas, I say, what's F-gas?
So it's a refrigerant gas. So these are what we call split refrigerant units.
Right.
So there's refrigerant gas between the outdoor unit and these indoor units.
Okay.
So in order to install and handle that, you have to do a safe refrigerant handling training course, or an F-gas, it is commonly known in the UK.
Okay, we'll probably come back to training to hold people on there, because I think it's going to be quite a surprise how quickly maybe we can upskill ourselves, but stay on for that. Again, as always, we want your questions, whether you're watching this live or watching on catch-up. If you've got some questions on air-to-air, which is AC, or air-to-heat, which is our air source heat pumps, start getting them in, because I think this is a conversation piece that people will keep looking to the left and thinking, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't bother me. 120 units in residential would bother me, and the government are turning off that gas, and we'll come back to that as well. So we're going to have to heat our house in a completely different way in order that we can move forward. So retrofits, you think, are certainly within our skill set, okay? But I'm always thinking about air conditioning units, okay, that we're just cooling stuff, okay? Now, it was sort of suggested to me that after the COVID period, that actually there was an increase in people installing air conditioning units. Why would that be? Yeah,
so as you can imagine, the strange times that we were in during COVID, a lot of people then was having to work from home. A lot of people still now work from home, hybrid working or working at home. They had to create space to work in, so garden offices, loft conversions, even home offices. And when they're working from home, particularly in the middle of the summer, either if it's a new garden office or a loft conversion, they needed some cooling. And so we did see an increase in residential cooling. But people forget, obviously, that these units can heat and cool. So if you had a workspace, whether it's a garden office, I say, or a loft conversion, you then realise, I can use this for heating and cooling. So we started to see an increase in the residential sector, mainly following COVID. And that's continued because obviously people now either work hybrid or work at home permanently.
I'll ask you that question. We obviously, have you seen a little bit of that? Not necessarily maybe the air-to-air systems, but obviously that little bit of peak where people were trying to get power to sheds and more internet infrastructure into buildings because they started to work from home. Because I'd completely missed the AC.
Yeah, no, we've had an influx of work since after COVID, with people obviously building, as you say, summer houses, converting maybe garages as well into offices, along with loft conversions. So we have seen an influx of running new supplies down to summer houses, along with also mains data points as well, so that people have got a direct internet connection if they're working obviously remotely within the garden. And that was also the same for within the premises as well. If they're going to be working in a loft, they need good internet connection. If their route is at the floor, in the ground.
Yeah, it makes sense, because the 2 rooms you mentioned there, the summer houses can be incredibly warm at times, and then if you've done a loft conversion, again, just getting some air circulation up there. I never put those 2 pieces of the puzzle together. Did you, Joe?
No, because you don't. For me, I never thought of air conditioning within that residential. So to hear that 120,000 going in, and that was me assuming that it would be new builds. But you're saying that mainly what?
At the moment, most of the residential splits that we see going in are in existing buildings, or garden buildings or loft conversions. But generally, existing buildings, conservatories is another.
Use the word split there. What does that mean?
So split refrigerant. So
right, okay, back to
an outdoor unit and an indoor unit, and you connect them with refrigerant. Okay. So yeah, it's split refrigerant units. Generally called.
You know that term, and obviously the people watching is trying to get into it. Yeah, just to clarify what that one is when you go. So. Could you see this as still an opportunity for you, Dale? Do you think that, have you had customers in the last 12 months perhaps ask for this type of stuff?
We certainly have. As Ian said, we've had a few people that have started working from home, either moving into a new house or are trying to build a functional room that they can use. So we have had inquiries come through the door regarding AC units to be installed. Unfortunately, we don't have the training to be able to do that, so we have passed that on to other contractors that do it. But I would certainly be interested in looking into it if it is as simple as you guys say. If it's something that an electrician is capable of doing, along with the additional accreditations, it's something that we could certainly see being bolted on in the near future by other electrical contractors as well, not just by myself.
It comes up in the building regs. Do you want to just give us a little bit of a run through? I won't steal any of your thunder here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's an important point. We talk about the market and the current market. And as which I said, it's mainly replacement, the garden buildings, etc. That market's going to continue to grow, but we haven't really touched on the new build market. So the new build market's going through quite a big transition at the moment anyway. So we're going to have to move away from fossil fuels. Traditionally, that's what we use for heating and hot water. As we move away from fossil fuels, the houses are also getting much better insulated. So we see brand new houses now with heat loads of 3 to 4 kilowatts. So the heat load's minimal. Okay, just explain it. So heat loads of 3 to 4 kilowatts. What would a 1960s terrace house be roughly, just to give us a comparison? Varies. I've got quite an old house, not particularly well insulated. The heat loss from my house is probably no. The heat.
What are the chances, folks? Yeah. I'm selling this new EV charger and I've got a diesel van. Yeah, okay.
But the heat loss from my house is probably in the region of 10, 11 kilowatts.
Wow.
So it's costing me a lot of money to heat it, and as we know, burning stuff to heat things is not very efficient. So the new build market is under a lot of change. Part L, Part F, but one of the building regulations that people forget about is Part O, which is overheating. And as we thermally insulate these new houses to a much higher standard, and we have to seal these houses, so with minimal air changes, then Part O comes into play. So we need to start thinking about cooling. So now the house builders are already thinking, well, okay, we have to move to low carbon forms of heating and hot water. We have to insulate our buildings better. We have to make them more airtight. Well, now we're going to have to start thinking about cooling. So that new build market, certainly in terms of cooling, is another market that we haven't really yet got into.
So are we almost in territory where this is becoming more of a viable solution to heat a home, as opposed to, let's say, air to water or ground source to everyone else?
I think as the residential market changes, which it definitely is, and I think the move away from fossil fuels is what's generating that change. As that market changes, what it starts to mean is that, if you're working in the residential sector, certainly in people's homes, gone are the days where you go in and say, well, I'll change that and I'll put that new version of that in. We have to start thinking about, how do you live? what do you need? Do you shower? Do you bath? Do you need cooling? Have you got, how well insulated is your home? Do we need to cool certain areas? And the companies that can start offering that advice and offering that expertise will certainly steal a march on, because this is coming whichever way we look at it.
Yeah.
Low carbon heating is happening, and we have some targets that we have to meet. The government's own target is to have heat pumps, 600,000 heat pumps per annum installed every year by 2028. We're 4 years away from that. At the moment, air-to-water heat pumps, we're probably also around about 100,000. So there's an awful lot to
opportunity.
An awful lot of opportunity.
And when you say low carbon, that doesn't mean low cost. So again, I don't want to get the price of energy.
Yeah.
So gas is cheaper to buy than electricity.
Yes, currently.
And the electricity can be zero carbon effectively through wind and through solar, etc. Yeah. So it's all about reducing the carbon. The government aren't interested if that means you have to pay a little bit more for your energy. We're interested in reducing carbon, which I'm fine. Now, I've got a little flaw in your plan, believe it or not. So here's one I haven't thrown at you before, Ian. So wait for it. Here it comes. It's great. So I'm going to put air-to-air or air conditioning units into my property, but you hit the nail on the head, because it cannot heat my water, and there's going to be a major problem. So if it did both, we'd be laughing, but it's only cooling the actual property itself.
Yeah, and that's so when you talk to the house builders, that's the challenge they have.
Can't you invent one that does the water as well?
Well, it actually, in terms of our developments of air-to-air units, we have developed now a unit that has multiple ports, so same as a multi-split. Instead of having 3 indoors, you can have 3 indoor units and a hot water tank. So we use the refrigerant to heat a coil in a hot water tank.
No.
So you can supply hot water and heating and
So
cooling.
if I had a well-insulated house, where I was only cooling it because of its thermal, I could then use the refrigerant, which normally would be taking out the hot loop, effectively be passed through a tank for indirect heating.
To heat the hot water in the tank. And that's already available.
Is it?
It's already on the market from Daikin.
Wow.
And it just gives us, or potentially gives those installers, another
and is that sort of it looks like a traditional water tank, does it?
Yeah, it's a wall hung. At the moment, it's a wall hung tank. It's about 120 litres, so it's for smaller properties. Maybe small flats, apartments. And there you go. So there's a small wall hung tank, as you can see there. So there's 4 ports from that outdoor unit. We've got 3 indoor units. Actually 2 wall hung units and 1 floor standing unit.
Oh, so again, I don't want to bring back to it. That looks a little bit like a storage heater. Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's
so we're used to seeing things like a radiator,
rather than it's on the floor. Yeah, so you've got those options, and then there's as I say, there's a hot water tank there, which currently that's 120 litres. So it would serve, a small flat, a small apartment. We will be developing that further to have a bigger hot water tank.
But that's a free hot water.
That's hot water that's generated by the outdoor unit, the heat pump. Yeah.
Because we would have just let that effectively that energy go out into the environment when we would have exhausted the heat.
Yeah, the energy that we put into that outdoor unit will heat that hot water.
Okay. So is there anything stopping you from that system? If you had a bigger tank, just having an immersion heater to support it, so a bit like solar thermal on your roof, where you obviously just use the solar heat to get that a little bit warmer.
So there'll be the option for an immersion. So if you, for example,
was that my idea?
if you had a problem,
are we having a cut here?
I think we've already thought that.
Daikin and me. We're all in. We're in Daikin. We're together now. I think. Yeah, it's 2 words against one now.
I think we got that one down. But it is. I mean, there's an immersion option there, because if there was a problem with the outdoor unit, you'd still want to put some heat into your tank. So there's an immersion option.
So is that refrigerant that's going into that tank then? So
it's refrigerant we're using, the same as we do with these outdoor units. It's a refrigerant that we're using to heat that coil in that tank, to give heat to that hot water.
Well, that's all what it's doing, and it's just not exhausting it out into the outside.
No, we're just using it same as we would do with these indoor units. Yeah.
Okay. Whenever it comes to anything like this, everyone thinks efficiency, okay? And we know when we talk about air source heat pumps, they tend to have like a 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 efficiency. If I put 1 kilowatt of electrical energy in, I can get 5 kilowatts, 4 kilowatts, 6, or whatever it is out the other side. What happens with an AC or air-to-air unit? Is that a similar thing?
Yeah, it works on the same principle. So obviously we're using the air around us to heat or cool, or in this case, heat or cool. With an air source heat pump, we can also heat and cool with those in a slightly different way. But so we're using the air around us. So the important figure really you need is what you might hear termed SCOP. It's basically just the seasonal efficiency, because you can look at efficiency at certain points, or you can look at the efficiency of a system over a 12-month period, which is probably more important for us with the winter and the summer. But an air-to-air unit, as opposed to an air-to-water unit, is actually more efficient, because you do get some transmission loss with air-to-water because you're losing the heat from that water, which you don't get with an air-to-air unit. So typically, an air-to-air unit can achieve efficiencies of 5, which is 500%. So for every 1 kilowatt you're putting in, you're getting 5 kilowatts of usable heating or cooling out the other end. So for every pound you pay British Gas or whoever, you're getting £5 worth of usable heating or cooling.
Right, so that then puts it on an advantageous one with the kilowatts going in, because if you think about the kilowatts of energy you use in gas,
Yep.
you have to buy, obviously you don't get any of those back, do you, effectively? You get a better ratio, 5 to 1.
I mean, the challenge we have is, you know, a gas boiler at best is 90% efficient, at best. The reality is very few of them operate at 90% efficiency, but at best it's 90% efficient. So every pound you give British Gas, you're only getting 90 pence worth of usable heat back out.
Okay.
And consumers are now starting to think that way. You know, how much heat am I getting for the energy that I'm putting in?
Okay, I'll give you that question. How are you educating that customer when you try and bring these new products to market to them? So maybe you're trying to get an EV charger in, or maybe as you develop the business, are they susceptible to that information, that when you're trying to educate them about costing and then multiplying it up rather than, you know, the gas one being the opposite way around? How's that going with you? Or is it something you haven't come across as much as you perhaps will in the future?
To be honest, we've been using it as a sales tactic. So instead of the customer mentioning it to us, it's more something that we're using to speak to them about. You know, they might not be on the borderline of changing over from a diesel vehicle to an EV one, but if they can understand the efficiency that they're going to be getting from that, and obviously the perks and the benefits, you know, whether that's 24-hour help, you know, if something goes wrong, you know, if a boiler packs up, you've got to call the plumber out, and it might be either the following day or might be not be. You know, with some of these companies, you can call up somebody online and you've got a 24-hour helpline, and they can talk you through it and help you get it sorted. But with regards to the efficiency sides, yeah, we use that as a talking point, and we've found that customers come around a lot easier once you've actually used that kind of information. And obviously with the air-to-air, I can imagine it's going to be a great sort of selling point to be able to talk to a customer about what they're getting with their boiler in comparison to what they could be getting with, you know, this alternative sort of heating source.
They seem to get solar. People seem to get solar.
Yeah.
Yet most people say to me that it's probably going to take a while to get your money back, and maybe you don't see it, especially if you move property and all the rest of it. Now, one thing that did alarm me is this F-gas, and we seem to be avoiding the F word, okay, which is good in
Which
some
is
ways.
good, yeah, which is good.
So put the F-gas back in my... So if I'm going this way, I'm going to have to deal with this... Is it a refrigerant?
Refrigerant gas, yeah.
Always used to see vans with those triangles on them when I was an electrician that did it, and there'd be something in the back that says, if I have a mild accident, maybe scuff a wheel on a curb, that the gas in the back of the vehicle will explode and
safety first.
Take out three streets. Talk me through F-gas.
So so F-gas, as we say, it is a requirement, and so in fairness, for electricians or plumbing and heating companies, F-gas is something that they'll have to go and get themselves qualified in and build experience upon. But we offer support in terms of F-gas training as a company.
So a couple of years?
No, so you can, to do your initial F-gas training is a week's course, and then that really means you're safe to handle refrigerant. So you can install a system that needs refrigerant connections. It doesn't make you an expert in F-gas. You've done it for a week. What makes you an expert then is the more you do it, the more you get familiar with. But in terms of qualifications, once you have your safe gas handling qualification, which is essentially a week's course, then you can go and
so I'm loving this. I've done a week, so 6 weeks to become an electrician most of the time. Plumber sounds like a week now. This sounds like a bit of me. Qualified plumber in a week. Now, would there be any other sort of... So I've got the refrigerant, the F-gas. Would I have any training on installing these units?
I mean, like everything, you know, if you've not done these before, you need to familiarise yourself with them. Obviously, there's the product installation course. So
is that 2 years?
No, that's for us. It's a day, 2 days training just on how to install this system.
7 days with plumbers.
So you know, you have to have your F-gas. You can't.
Is that the first one? You have to have F first.
You can come and train on this, but you wouldn't be able to install them then until you got your F-gas certification.
Let's get the F-gas first.
Yeah, so do your F-gas.
Do the big course.
Do the big course. And then come in and do our training courses on how to install these specific.
So do the plumbing in 2 days.
Specific products. Well, there's
sounds easy.
Surprisingly, not a lot of plumbing with an air-to-air unit.
What plumbing is? involved?
So obviously, from the F-gas side, you're running your refrigerant lines. That's covered on your F-gas training. The electrical side, you guys hopefully know how to do.
Well, we've seen you don't.
Yeah, well, exactly. Hopefully you do it better than I did. And then really the main elements of plumbing is, so these units will generate some condense, as you can imagine, as they're cooling particularly. So you've got to get that condense out of the building. So it's basically, we drain that condense away, you've got to get that out. So into downpipe, what you'll see a lot of the air conditioning companies do, they'll have like a false downpipe on the building, and they'll maybe run the refrigerant pipework up through there, maybe the cables up through there, and bring the condense out through there. So that's really the main bit of plumbing that's involved with it.
Just dripping into the environment, and exactly.
Well, it's just water.
Yeah, so I've got it.
So
right.
it's not acidic; it's just water.
Just like having a little.
You can take it to ground and.
Okay.
So would it be best then to have these on external walls?
Ideally, yeah. I mean, if you can.
Or back to back. It's like the back-to-back sockets.
Really?
This is the new back-to-back sockets.
Yeah,
You want a socket the other side, not a problem.
Obviously, it'll cut down on your work if you can get it on an external wall. It's easier to drain it out, but that isn't always possible, as you can imagine. If you want one of these right in the middle of a house. But then you could fit a pump just to pump that condense away up and over into the loft and down. So, yeah, I mean, you can do it, and lots of people do. But ideally, if you can get it on an external wall, it makes life a bit easier.
Well, I think it's only fair that we ask the plumber the electrical question.
Oh, no. I know it's not too tricky.
Well, supply. So, you know, we've got to run a supply to it. So, electrically, are we running it to the indoor unit, the outdoor unit? What's that requirement?
So yeah, you need power to the outdoor unit. There's sort of 1, 2, 3 then cables run into these units.
From the outdoor?
Yeah.
So that's like a primary thing,
running,
taking
yes.
power to there and back out.
Running things to the outdoor unit. In terms of supply, you know, on a single split or even a two-way split, you're probably talking about 16 amp supply on the smaller residential.
We'll stick with residential stuff because there's 120,000 of them gone in last year.
Get on them.
And we didn't see any of them being fitted. Okay, so that's simple. Now I'm thinking of controls.
Yeah.
So the customer's got it in. Are we talking a similar wall thermostat type thing?
Yeah,
we
so you
we
can,
see them in hotel rooms, don't we? We just go maximum up or maximum down usually.
Yeah, so what you have options with these. So you can have, you know, a wall-mounted stat for each unit that you can operate. You can have a remote control.
Oh, like that, like the old-fashioned thing.
Yeah, that does it well. More of a modern thing than an old-fashioned thing. But yeah, you know, so you can control it from a remote control. And then we do have an app, as everybody loves these days. So you can connect these up to an app.
Great, lovely.
And then you can control it remotely, obviously.
Change colours.
Change colours. No, it doesn't change colours. But you can control it remotely. If there's a potential fault, you'll get some fault code notification.
Feedback.
And you get some energy output as well, so you can see what the outdoor unit energy is using. So yeah, and you can connect it to smart devices.
You like an app now? Do you like an app, Dale?
Oh, I love an
Everybody likes an app.
I like an app that's saving energies. Will that plot over time then, so you can see your historical patterns and stuff like that?
It's.
So you can see we had a terrible summer.
Well, yeah, I think you can look at daily, weekly, or monthly. I think so. You can see, you know, how much energy it is using, which then from there you could probably get a gauge for how efficient that unit's running. We also have just one last thing.
No, we're not going anywhere. You're okay.
What we call
ending words. People are left now. One more thing.
What we call the cloud service. So you can, just for our residential units now, you can via the cloud remotely access these units. So you have a dashboard where you can see what the unit's doing. You can change settings remotely. So again, if you're maintaining these and your customer rings up and says, oh, you know, I've got a problem with the unit, you can dial in and have a look what that unit's doing. Send an engineer possibly, change some settings if you want to, if you think that's going to solve it. The very least it means is you'll know whether there's a problem or not, and you know whether you need to send an engineer or whether it's the end user's done something wrong.
I like that. Well, you like collecting certificates and awards now. Imagine we've gone on this course. Do we get a bit of paper to say we've
yeah, you get, obviously, so you'll get your F-gas certification, which is a certificate. Which you have to keep up to date, obviously. And then
how often's that?
Again, annually. So you make sure that's maintained.
Right. So electricians, we just become qualified electricians. We don't forget anything, but people in the gas and plumbing world, they got a year's worth of retention and knowledge. We'll have to do the same course again.
And then obviously when you attend one of our courses, that gets logged. You have a certification for attending that as well. But that's our product courses.
Again, for people who might be interested that don't take up the opportunity, it's great CPD. So again, you just invest in yourself, get yourself a little bit of CPD on your annual assessment. You can just whip that out then, can you? And say, I've done a Daikin course on F-gas, and and obviously
we've got certified CPD courses on air to air, air to water that we can run as well. So yeah, there's lots of options.
Right. Okay. I'm thinking split systems. Okay. So explain what a split system would look like to me.
So these are split systems effectively. So and basically what we mean by split system is you've got an outdoor unit and an indoor unit.
And you said that was 4 when we did the one with the hot water. If we didn't have the hot water, could we have had 4 air-to-air systems together?
Yeah, so you have like single split. So again, so typically those...
we'll do consumer units, 1-way, 2-way, 3-way consumer units. It means you can have 1 fuse, 2 fuse, 3 fuse.
So we can have 5 port.
So 5 port, 5 of these.
Potentially, yeah.
Is that the biggest one for residential?
Yeah, pretty much.
So if you wanted to go above that, you'd end up having two external.
Yeah, you start to go
we see
to
that, don't we,
more
on the
outdoor
side of
units,
buildings.
or you start to see the bigger commercial stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense though. So when I see them on the side of buildings, I'm thinking, right, okay, so they can only run a certain amount of filtering. Did you know that?
I did not know.
You should have said yes. I did know that. Made me feel really foolish. Gary, everyone knows that. It's only you that done that. That's great.
But these do a little bit more than cooling, don't they? Because I know we were talking to your colleague earlier today. They're not just blowing out cold or warm air.
Yeah, I mean,
what are they doing then?
We have.
I'm really interested.
I'm waiting for Ian.
So we have. There's a couple of indoor units here, as you can see.
Let's bring the hand cam in. I'll bring hand cam in. We'll have a look. Because the top one is beautiful. I'm not saying the bottom one isn't, but the top one is beautiful. Okay, so we have to have it laid in a certain way. We couldn't lay it the other way around. Is that because of the refrigerant?
Yeah, just because. Yeah,
exactly the same as your fridge at home. So you've got to be careful with transportation. I like that. And we've got one down here. Okay, so you tell me it does more than hot and cold. I'm looking forward to this.
So we've got indoor units that can do dehumidification. So they have dehumidification as a function, air purification. So we have a wide range of indoor units, from, as you can imagine, a very basic one up to what we call a Ruru Serrara, which basically can.
You're going to have to.
That wasn't Welsh
either,
by the way.
You're going to have to repeat that.
A Ruru.
A Ruru
Serrara.
And that's not Welsh.
That's not Welsh.
Okay, a Ruru Serrara.
If you can
say that after we've had a few drinks in the pub tonight.
But like you said, that unit can dehumidify. They've got air purification. So again, we get more and more
in the same, because I know
in that indoor unit.
Young Rick's got an air purifier at home. So no, dehumidifier. Sorry, at home. We'll come back to air. You're the air purifier fan, but he's got one at home. So it would have been better having one of these, because it would have solved that issue he'd got, but also given the opportunity to heat and cool. With small kids, them summer nights, and where it is absolutely baking. That could have took. I didn't know. Now you've mentioned air purifier. Now we've delved into this before, especially post-COVID. Obviously, my dental surgery still has an air purifying unit in it, and I think it's a great way of sort of safeguarding their staff effectively, isn't it? And lots of doctor surgeries, etc. But your one is microscopic compared to some of the ones. We'll have a look at this air purifying unit, and what's the opportunity here for anyone who wants to obviously install these, Ian?
I think again, I mean, these are from an installation point of view, are pretty straightforward. You plug them in, basically.
So even plumbers can do it.
Even I could do it.
Yeah, well, not very well.
But yeah, I mean, this is a sort of basic residential unit, and again, we've seen an increase in these, as you say, post-COVID. But also, you see a lot of people. My daughter's got one because her son's got asthma, so she's got one in his bedroom, and it just means it helps him sleep a bit easier, and it's just cleaning the air, keeping on top of that. It's so yeah, I mean, these are easy. You can put them in the corner of the room, plug them in, and away you go.
You got a great story about that. You helped somebody out, didn't you?
There's different models of these, bigger ones, smaller ones.
Yeah, so I ended up with.
How did you get an air purifier?
Well, I left my boot open. And then I got home and I got an air purification unit.
What are the chances?
What are the chances?
You got donated an air purifier?
Absolutely, and I couldn't get rid of it. I mean, it was like a Dalek. It was quite a big commercial unit.
Yeah.
Hospice didn't want it. Doctor, they didn't want. I don't think they believed me when I was trying to give away. But I had to cut through a gas pipe to meet a heating engineer, and his daughter had it, and she suffered quite bad with allergies. And
you had to cut through a gas pipe?
Well,
I thought it was a water pipe.
I did think it was a water pipe.
Oh, right, I see,
you can see where the mistakes come in there.
It was steel and yellow, but he still went for it.
With a multi-tool as well, which was blunt. But no, the difference it made, and so because I've got my notes here about L-shaped rooms. So if you had an L-shaped room, you could use this.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, we have a wide range of these. For bigger areas, bigger rooms. This is, pretty much one room this would cover. But yeah, if you've got an outer room, we've got bigger units that can take care of that space as well. So,
but you transform that young lady's sleeping patterns and everything.
Yeah,
it made a massive difference to her.
She, I mean, I'd never heard of this. Eggs, so cooking eggs in the home, they couldn't do because she would come out in these really nasty rashes. And with the installation of this unit, it's changed her kind of home living. So it was lovely to hear that we were able to make that difference.
I feel privileged that I helped that happen. I really do. I was probably instrumental.
I mean, I would have much preferred a more reasonably sized air purification, like the one you've got down there.
No, but we had a giant one we needed to get rid of.
You had a giant one that needed to get rid of, and my boot was open.
That was good. Key challenges then. So we've gone on all the good stuff. There's going to be some bits that are a little bit more tricky when it comes to this. So let's head them out at the front. Ian. So Dale's out there. He's taking your 3-minute course. He's qualified plumber. He's obviously a qualified electrician as well. He took 4 years to do that, to master that.
Yeah, I can see that.
What's the sticking points? What's the things, what we got to get to grips with if we're going to sort of add this to our suite of abilities?
The first thing, as we said, there's those basic qualifications or accreditations that you need to get. And like everybody says, that doesn't make you an expert in this just because you've done those. That comes over installing more experience. No doubt you'll make a few mistakes, as most people do. So then you've got to look at support from the manufacturer. There's lots of manufacturers out there, so what support you're going to get from the manufacturer in terms of training, in terms of technical support, both pre-sales and post-sales, warranties for your customers, etc. So advice, and you need a lot of that. A lot of this for residential businesses is new, and so we as a manufacturer, know that we probably have to sit alongside you, for quite a while until you've done more and more, and then it becomes, that's your bread and butter. So, yeah, I think that's the hardest part is how do I size these. How, if I'm looking at a house, how can I get all this in? What support can I get? So, yeah, I think they're the things that we see as we move forward with this. Even in new build, even on air-to-water heat pumps, we see installers that they do all the training, and they start on site, and we know they're going to make mistakes. And you probably have that 12 months of, okay, I've made that mistake. I won't do that next time. And after about 12 months, less and less mistakes, less and less issues. Less pressure on us, but less pressure on them. So
yeah,
I think the support is crucial.
When plumbers do you get them to make off an eFIXX and to
not as well as that?
No, I wouldn't have thought you did.
I did all right there.
Talking of electrical, I think it's time to have a little break, a little rest, because Ian's been fantastic.
Absolutely.
This wasn't the bloke we spoke to earlier. I was mildly nervous about being on the telly, is he? Like absolute natural.
Being able to shut him up.
That's a nice thing to say to our guest there. Yeah, okay. So I'd like to go over and see Rick's tool time, because in some ways it's got a connection to where we're going with all these air source and all the other stuff that's coming into the industry. Let's go to Rick's tool time.
An earth leakage current clamp is an invaluable tool for electricians seeking to diagnose issues related to nuisance tripping of RCDs and RCBOs in both single-phase and three-phase installations. However, a hidden challenge in electrical systems can arise from the presence of DC leakage currents. Instead of triggering nuisance tripping, these currents may prevent devices from tripping altogether. This is often referred to as blinding the RCD, a major concern if an RCD is required to safeguard against electric shock. Electricians are familiar with the concept of AC leakage currents, which may arise from damaged insulation on electrical cables, water ingress into light fixtures, or functional earth leakage currents caused by electromagnetic interference filters. These filters are commonly found in various appliances, including laptop power supplies, LED lighting drivers, and vacuum cleaners. AC leakage current from EMC filters occur even even when the appliance is not in use. When investigating nuisance tripping of an RCD, a good starting point is to assess the total leakage current within the installation. A 30 milliamp RCD is likely to trip if the leakage current exceeds 15 milliamps. This is why wiring regulations specify that nominal leakage currents should remain below 30% of the RCD's operating leakage current, meaning just 9 milliamps for a 30 milliamp rated RCD. Consequently, RCBOs installed on individual circuits have become the preferred choice for consumer units. DC leakage currents arise from the operation or faults within power electronics equipment, including washing machines, solar inverters, heat pumps and electric vehicle chargers. As the presence of such equipment increases in homes and businesses, electricians must be aware of the associated challenges and ensure that the appropriate type of residual current device is installed. Let's examine a practical example. This installation features a 3-phase heat pump protected by an RCBO, which is of the type AC. Heat pumps contain variable frequency drives, which can produce DC leakage currents during operation. Unfortunately, this crucial information is often buried deep within the manufacturer's datasheet, leading installers to mistakenly choose the wrong type, as seen in this case. To verify this, we can use a leakage clamp meter. By placing the clamp around all live conductors, we can measure the leakage current. Our measurements show that when the heat pump operates, it generates approximately 8 milliamps of DC leakage current, indicating that it should be protected by a Type B RCD. Just remember here folks, when we talk about Type B, this isn't the current curve. It's not just high power appliances that can cause DC leakage. Even small circulation pumps used in heating systems can produce small amounts of DC leakage. However, installations often contain multiple pumps, such as those used with underfloor heating. The combined effect of several pumps can result in a significant DC leakage current, which might require a Type A RCD. Looks like those pesky plumbers are at it again, injecting DC leakage into our electrical system. Talk about a classic case of plumber's revenge. Can a standard clamp meter be used to measure leakage current? Generally, the answer is no, as typical clamp meters do not possess the required resolution for precise measurements. However, the TIS 570 we are using here measures in tenths of a milliamp and includes a DC range, making it well suited for capturing these DC currents. A clamp meter is invaluable for various fault finding tasks, including identifying potential issues with diverted neutral currents. It allows for regular current measurements of up to 10 amps in the DC range and 20 amps true RMS AC. Additionally, it offers capabilities for voltage, resistance and continuity measurements. If you need to track down a rogue appliance causing leakage currents, I'd suggest you check out this rather useful line splitter from TIS.
Just hold this for a second, can you? Okay. Electricians don't have brushes, but plumbers do. Okay, so you can, when I've finished all my hard work, you can just sweep up after me.
Okay, at least switch it on.
Well, absolutely. You won't be able to wire it up, would you? That's well, for sure. Right, now I'm 6'4", you are...
Oh, at least 6'4.5".
Okay, well, when you came in, I think my eyes just drifted over. You gave me that look, as we said earlier, and you thought I looked a bit taller. Now, we're going to have to, obviously, maybe we could reach it, but we're not. We're going to play along. So let me take your broom off you that you use all the time. And electricity. We're going to go on our knees here, and we're going to summon the tool from above. Now, did you ever watch Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer do the dove from above?
I certainly did.
Because you're of an age, yeah? So there's lots of people out there watching this that have no idea what we're talking about. Can you remember what they cooed?
Yes.
Go on in, give us an example.
So they would have gone, coo.
Coo. They cooed the dove from above.
Did.
Yeah, okay. But we're going to have to use the word tool. Because we want...
Do we have to?
Unfortunately.
Okay.
You haven't watched any of these episodes, have you?
Yes.
You haven't watched any. You've been on one, you haven't watched it. So have you ever watched Top Gear?
Yes.
Have you been on Top Gear?
No.
No. Have you ever watched Blankety Blank?
Yes.
Have you ever been on Blankety Blank? No. Have you ever been on eFIXX TV?
Yes.
How many have you watched?
None.
Right, okay, so here we go. Put it into context for you. So we're going to give it a nice pull, nice throaty Welsh rugby tones in there. Get some more Welsh.
I think I can manage that.
Yes, I've got plenty of saliva, yeah?
Right.
And we're going to give it a big tool.
Okay.
Ready? Ready for a big tool? Tool!
That didn't work.
No, go a little bit more life.
Right,
okay.
okay.
So, ready? This one will work. A little tool. Tool! That was good. I'll get some throat in there as well.
Yeah, you were quite high pitched, aren't you?
Well, I could be. Maybe you'd be rugby, and I'd be perhaps more. I don't know, Catherine Jenkins.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that. One more go. I reckon we'll get this done. Because if we stood up, I reckon we'd get there.
I think you're probably right, yeah.
I would, but you know why not. Ready? Here we go. Ready, Ian, and. Yes.
Perfect.
Right, get it out of the bag. We've just seen it on the show. This is really clever, and we're going to talk about it mildly in a minute.
Much.
So this could allow us, on those air source heat pumps, we know the type of RCD can be a real red herring, because what you do is companies like Daikin actually put it in the instructions and people don't read it. And then in the future, maybe the wrong type of RCD has been installed. You need to do some fault finding. This bit of kit can actually find AC and DC leakage, and DC leakage can be massive moving forward. Do you agree with that?
I do, absolutely.
Do you think plumbers read as many as instructions as electricians do?
They probably read about the same.
Okay, so
not
which
very
is
many.
absolutely none.
Yes.
So what we've got here is the tool wall. Okay, so if it's absolutely the worst tool you've ever seen, and I do love the people from TIS, it would go down in this bottom hand corner, and then we come through, and people tend to play it safe in the 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, and 11s at the top here, if it's the greatest tool ever made. Now, I understand it's probably a bit more complicated than a damp cloth, which is the way you find out if there's a leak on a pipe, and you bring a cloth in it and you touch it and go, it's a damp cloth, that pipe's got a leak. Yeah, well, apparently. Okay. The best way to stop a leaky pipe, do you know what it is? Don't make it leak in the first place. Right, come on. Do matinees on a Saturday.
You've got to keep the dust down.
Where are we going then? Where are we going, Ian, with our...
Well, considering we're talking about heat pumps, and as you said, these are becoming a very useful,
go-to tool,
more than useful tool in the heat pumps. I'm going to sort of head in this direction.
Thank you very much. I think it's a cracking tool, but don't be swayed. It'll stay on there. It will stay on there. Okay, brilliantly. So thank you very much. Have a look at that one. Have you got any of those down?
I do not.
No, very clever piece of kit that is. To be able to monitor DC currents as well as AC currents for leakage. I just want to clarify, it was obviously in the video, when we talk about DC leaking, we're worried about it leaking the positive and negative of DC onto the line and neutral of an AC waveform, which makes it slightly more positive. Joe Robinson has done some fantastic videos on that in the past, and it's going to cause a lot of issues in the future on RCDs that trip. If you fit an A-type RCD and more than 6 milliamps of pulsating DC appears on it, it actually trips. And everybody will go out to that, and their first instance will be overload, short circuit, earth leakage. It's none of them, and it'll be a DC fault. And you know yourself that more often than not, what type of RCDs are these air source heat pumps going for? Is it B's on yours as well?
B's plus.
B plus, okay. F.
There's A's as well.
Yeah, and they can be tricky to get hold of. So again, fitting the right one in the first place is a good place to be. Agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's another little bit of upping up our skills. Right. Questions?
Well, before we go,
questions, yeah.
Any comments?
Questions? Shall we go over to Rick? So, hello, Rick. I'll bring yourself in, Rick. So he got his microphone. Hello, Rick. Hello, bring yourself in. You're not on the camera yet, Rick.
I don't know which one. I think we're in now.
Okay. Well, we can't see you, Rick. We're still looking at Dale having a bottle of water in the corner. There he is.
I'm busy juggling at a minute. That's what it is.
Hey, anyone remember Kenny Everett? Can you do the legs? There it is. Do the legs again. Do the full-on crossover. Kenny Everett. Look at this. I don't even know who he is. Fantastic. So, Kenny.
Too young, I think.
Right, okay. So...
yes, we've got a couple of comments in. We've got Craig Watson who says he loves his Daikin. Is that right?
Daikin, yeah, okay.
You know what you meant.
The mini split. F-gas, is that what comes out after a curry?
Yeah, we'll know tomorrow.
And there's a Del Corleonio.
Okay, yeah. He's new to the channel, is he?
Very new to the channel, but seems to be doing a lot of comments. Says that the SY cable looks a lot like your hair.
Okay.
I wanted to know how much the course will cost.
That's where we're going next.
And thought that you had a mini fridge on the side.
Yeah, I know. It does. I did say that when he arrived, but again, to be an air purifier. Kenny, it's been a pleasure. Okay, Mr. Everett. Oh, I've got to look up Kenny Everett tomorrow. Do you know who he is or not? A clue? You one of them people?
No.
You don't know who Kenny Everett is?
No, I've heard of Kenny Everett, but...
it's just brilliant.
He had of a certain age.
He had a whiff of Kenny Everett about him, he did. Right, he did. A whiff. That's one of my sayings.
Do you know who Kenny Everett is?
I have no clue who Kenny Everett is. So me and you are in the same boat there, Joe.
Okay. I do know who
Kenny Everett is. Did he look like Kenny with them legs when he flicked them out there? He had a big full-on leg cross. You remember when he used to do that? And he'd go back the other way.
Possible taste.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't want to do that because, again, it would have been lost on him. Yeah, okay. Brilliant. So with the best possible taste, we're going price. I'm going to put you on the spot. I've decided this is an opportunity, okay? how much is it going to cost me to become a qualified plumber in 7 days? So it's the 2 and 5.
So to get your eFIXX certification, that week's course, so Daikin have teamed up with training providers, HSS, and we have an agreement with them that you can do that course. I think it's £830
Okay.
plus VAT.
Okay, so again, for a week's course? Okay.
For a week's course.
With the opportunity being 120,000 gone in residentials in this year, and it's only going up, I'd say that's probably... Would that be an investment you'd be willing to put in, Dale?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, I'm sure you negotiated some better rates. If you've got anything to do with it, yeah, I would imagine. Well done, Ian just said for free. Well
that is very generous of you. Thank you very much.
Ian, that was a nice touch. Yeah, what a lovely... And Clive's just...
We'll not look at Clive's face.
Yeah, no. He looks like he's just picked up some fruit, okay, and he's going to be sending them our way. Okay, so what about the installer course, which will effectively be how to install your kit? How much is that going to cost me?
Yeah, so installer courses, for us as Daikin, we need more manufacturers installing heat pumps, whether it's air-to-air or air-to-water. So we have a full suite of training courses. We have Daikin training centres. We also have partner training centres across the country. And we, at the Daikin training centres, pretty much offer those courses free because it's your time. You have to take time off the road. You're not working. You're not earning money. So yeah, that time is yours, and we offer the course for free.
Okay, that's good. So again, if I'm being predatorial, I could probably go around other manufacturers and probably pick up their training courses as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which is fine, but obviously the F course is in there. Now, what worries me is I'm new to this, okay, I install something and obviously it's working and then maybe, not yours, maybe one of the other ones I've installed, it stops working. How do you send me back? Do you give me a bit of cash to go back and fix these? How's the warranty start?
So I think that's a really important point because as we see more cooling or air-to-air in the residential market, we have to try and align what the customer expectations are. So we've got to think we're coming from this heating world where people need heating and hot water, and they're used to, if I've got a problem, I can ring somebody and they'll come out and fix it. With our air-to-water heat pumps, we have what we call an end-user warranty. So providing it's installed by a trained installer and they're F-gas certified, then there's an end-user warranty that sits obviously with the end user. They have to register it, and then they can contact us. And if it's a warranty fault, we'll go out and repair it.
You'll go.
Daikin will go out and repair it.
Yeah. You got any questions, Sal?
Oh, how about the design?
I mean, again, like we said, if you think about what are the challenges, if you're new into this, there's the training, as we said, but then you've got to be able to size these. So Daikin offer a suite of tools to our installers, a selection tool. So again, if you're in a house and you think, okay, I can measure this room, what do I need?
Right, okay. So
then there's a selection tool, you can pump that in and it'll tell you what you need.
Height of room, size of room, bang, straight away there's an answer.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And then, as you become more familiar with that, you can do that yourself. In the early days, we have a pre-sales technical team. So before you're installing, you can ring them up. If you've got any questions, can that go there? How far away can I put that? I need to size this, then they'll help you, particularly, pre-installation, if you like.
And is that done? Can I see someone? Could I sit there, or I've got a phone call with someone? Could I physically have a person help me with this in the early days? Yeah.
So we have a pre-sales team across the business who are on the end of the phone pretty much. So you can call that team and somebody can have a conversation.
So if I was in there and I was on my mobile phone, they could FaceTime me if I was really struggling.
So our sort of technical support is split into pre-sales and post-sales. Pre-sales and post-installation, sorry. So pre-sales are generally in the office and you could have that conversation on the phone. If you're out on site, then we have a technical support team that you can also call. But if you said, can you FaceTime me, and they can do that on your phone. We have a number of apps. We have a thing called the eCare app that you can use. So if you're stood in front of a unit and it's doing something that you don't expect it to, you can type that in. It'll try and give you some ideas of what's causing that. It'll tell you, what you can test, but if all else fails, you can ring the post-sales team.
Just to circle back with you going out, so Daikin going out, if a unit was or needed looking at, is that something you've always done, or?
No, so on the air conditioning side, that's new to us in the residential world. In fact,
Breaking news.
It's not. We're
What did you
not
do before? Not bother?
Well, before it would go back to the installer.
Oh, right, okay, fine.
So
Just checking it was breaking news.
so we're not doing it yet. It's about to happen.
Oh, it's imminent.
It's about to happen with our residential.
Right. Well, you've put it on the block now, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, it has to happen now. Yeah,
Okay,
but
so
Breaking news.
exactly.
Install it, 5-year warranty, roughly?
5-year warranty is...
So within that 5 year, if somebody goes wrong that isn't effectively an install issue, it's actually a product issue,
If it's a
you're
product-related
going back.
issue, that's up to
Wow, and is that something you've had to newly man, or have you got people out there that have like premier installers?
So when we first came into the heating market in Daikin, which was air to water or heat pumps, as you said, or air to water heat pumps.
Get it right, it's air to air.
Air to air, or air to water.
I'm leading you through this, Ian.
So we had the residential end user warranty for that because, like I said, we're in competition with boiler manufacturers. That's so we have to compete with that. Then when we saw a rise of air conditioning in the residential, we want to align our warranty. So if you're an end user and you buy a Daikin air to water or you buy a Daikin air to air, you're going to get that end user warranty.
You mentioned boilers, so is this a market they're now looking at because they can see the writing on the wall, can't they? That gas is slowly getting phased out, or quickly actually getting phased out. Are those manufacturers now trying to come and with this?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, but I think that's an advantage, that Daikin has. So you're right. The boiler manufacturers in this world, they know that boiler market is slowly starting to decrease. They're not just going to sit by and let their business do that. So they're already making heat pumps, air to water, mainly, most of them. Some of them are looking at air to air as well. So yeah, we've got more competition. But the whole, installers have more competition, so that's why we need more installers.
I don't see that as competition. You see it as competition, which is quite right. But I see that as a market you should get into. So if somebody's transitioning out of a market, Whitbread used to make beer, used to own pubs. Then they did coffee. They sold that coffee business to Coca-Cola. They own Premier Inn. So the Whitbread's company owned Costa Coffee and effectively Somewhere to Rest Your Head that Lenny Henry said was great. Yeah. But they don't make any alcoholic beverages anymore. Well, you're looking at them. That's an opportunity. That means that you're in the right sector, and it's a sector the electricians should chase down because gas is going.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, interesting times ahead. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So, you got any questions, Dal? If you're an installer with moistening lips, is there anything that you're thinking? Oh, I'd like to know about this.
More a point I'd like to point out, as an installer of many different sort of products, especially with new ones that we install, it's good to hear that a manufacturer offers such good sort of warranties and obviously help services to people that are getting into it or potentially have been in it for a while that might have seen an issue that is not a reoccurring one but a new one. So to have that on the side, I think is very helpful for people getting into the industry and the people already well established as well. And I think that separates Daikin from other manufacturers.
I hope so, obviously. But I mean, we see it as we have to. We have to grow this installer base. As I said earlier, the government want to see 600,000 heat pumps a year being installed.
So do you.
Yeah, I definitely. I want to see more than 600,000.
That's not hide the fact.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely we do. But and at the moment, there's not enough installers out there to install 600,000 heat pumps. If you look at somebody like the Heat Pump Association, they say that to get to that number, we need probably 10 times as many installation companies doing that than we have today.
Wow, you can't.
So we've got to do that. And so for us to encourage new companies to come in to install these technologies, we know that we sort of have to support them certainly until they've become more confident, more experienced.
It's not a hollow market. You're encouraging these people because you already know the data's there. If we've got to do 600,000, we couldn't do it. I like that. It's double-edged because you'd like to sell all of those. Yeah. But the only way you can sell them is somebody can install them.
Somebody's got to install them.
So everybody in your position is got a vested interest of more people upskilling and installing air-to-air, air-to-heat systems because A, you've got the product to get over. The government want it to happen. We haven't got enough people to do it.
Somebody's got to
if we turned it on tomorrow, we can't do it. We just haven't got enough people. That's immense.
I've got another good question for you. So, if I was to look at obviously going in and doing the training and coming up to this, what would we kind of be looking to approach a customer with cost-wise for an external and an internal unit to be installed?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's so depending on the type of indoor unit. As we said, there's sort of basic range up to your Arusa Raras. Spot on.
It's Welsh for something stuck outside the house.
But you got it. But so there's a wide range of units. But if you, I don't know, to give you some idea, I guess if you looked at a sort of mid-range indoor unit and a single indoor unit with the outdoor unit, you're probably talking in the region of £900 for that kit.
Is that it?
Roughly.
I was expecting it to be that cheap.
But, you know, it can vary depending on the type of unit you go and how many you want. That's going to go up. Yeah. But if you one basic indoor, you're probably
those blistering hot summers. You look at your wall and you think it's only £900. I can sleep tonight instead of losing my entire weight in sweat or getting up in the morning and look on the Turin shroud where you've been laying. Yeah. It's like,
I'm aspiring for Maruru. Sararas.
That's why, yeah.
But you've got a new extension going in. Is this something? Lovely looking garden you've got out the back? Are you thinking?
I'll be honest with you. Because I do have a new extension going in. I've not even considered it. I've not considered air to air. You know, because
so you'd take a complimentary one and give it a go, would you?
I would, Ian. I'd love a Ruru Savava.
What are the chances?
What are the chances? No, but the thing is, on a serious point, I would consider it because, we've got cool and heat a good space, and this seems like a really good solution. It's not a bad-looking unit. It looks good.
But I think that's as we were saying earlier about the companies that are out there now in that residential sector, because so that's a good example. You're building an extension. I would imagine the first thought is, I'll put some radiators in there.
Kitchen. That was the wife's thing, wasn't it? She wanted a decent kitchen.
But yeah, you've got to heat that space somehow. Yeah. So the first thought will be...
Kitchen. It was a kitchen. We could do without heat in sockets and lights. She wanted a decent kitchen, didn't she?
That's what
everything else
Forget
was
everything
out.
else.
Kitchen was,
the kitchen was in.
Yeah.
But,
windows, no kitchen.
That's the first option. Everybody says, well, we'll put a radiator in. But that's going to start the...
But that's exactly what we've done. We've thought, right, we started with underfloor heating, we started looking at air to water solutions. I'm catching on.
Yeah, you do want.
But no, with this seems like a really...
And if let's say it was in the kitchen diner area then, that could manage some of those natural particles that wouldn't go to the extractor fan, so we could have some better air quality in there.
Air purification there, dehumidification.
I hadn't thought of that either, had you? In the kitchen you've got to have.
I think that's with the Ruru Serrara?
Yeah, you like that, don't you?
I couldn't say it. My dyslexia. I don't know what I'd call it.
For a Ruru Serrara.
Come round, we'll stand near this.
I can tell you.
Talking of exciting new things, though, we're going to come back and obviously carry on with your stuff. Lewden, been a bit busy.
Yes, they have been.
Yeah, they've got a massive new opening with only 50 limited tickets. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I'm going to have to read my notes.
That's fine.
Because thanks
I can't read, so that's why I'm giving you that one.
So, so they've got a product launch and demonstration of, here it is, the Siena. Which is
a cardboard box.
It's a cardboard box. You're going to open that, aren't you?
We're going to open it in a minute.
We're going to open and have a look.
What it is?
So it's an EV charger from Lewden. It's a 7.4, I think.
It's an eco-friendly one. It's made out of cardboard, so it's good to the environment, which is what we like.
But they're going to be, they're going to be launching it, and following the launch, which is hosted by Lewden at the F1 exhibitions at the XL Centre.
Well, you're getting through this well.
From 1:30. Thanks for pointing that out for me, because you've dropped this one on me. Lots of networking opportunities for 50 registered installers. So you've got to register. So there's good networking opportunities there. But the first 50 registrants, Gary, will have access to a limited time promotional bundle featuring this very charger. So I think it's worth opening up and actually having a look.
You hold that, young man.
Siena. I've got it here.
You hold Siena.
Siena.
It's nearly the same as my daughter's name.
So open.
Her name's Mary.
There. So nice little templates there.
Ooh, I've got to get the light off it because I've got the light above it. So pull that out. So there it is. Got a nice little bit of foil, a little bit of protection. So I'd recommend that comes off. These are shuttered. Look at that. So you cannot get in there. So like socket outlets that we used to, BS1363s, where we have the line and neutral pin, often called incorrectly live and neutral. Okay, they're shuttered. So you only by accessing the pin does it open these shutters here. So that's a nice. So you haven't seen that in any other EV chargers. It's quite a slick-looking unit, okay, and that's a special bundle for the first 50. I have been sneaky and contacted a few of our Instagram friends that are into EVs and told them about this in advance, so they got a little bit of a heads wraps up. Unfortunately, Liberato can't go. He was a bit gutted. I gave him one of the early access points as well. So it's in the link in the description, folks, if you want to go down and be entertained and swooned by the team at Lewden Palazzoli. They're all going to be there. Managing director's going to be there. I was going to be there, but unfortunately, as always, which day of the week is the worst day of the week for anyone from Team North to go anywhere? It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. So I can't actually make it down. I would have loved to have been down there. So again, if you want to be involved, no, you weren't asked. Okay, so it's like, did you go on the Italian trip that I went to? I went to Lake Garda, Ferrari Garage, Ducati, champagne tasting. Did you not go on that one either?
No, you went for work, didn't you?
Yeah.
Was that work?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Next year, I said I'll go again because now I've got the hang of it. I said I ought to be the steady and the influencer.
Well, I've had a chat with Giovanni.
And he'll never invite you over me. So, no hope. So just one, again, for those people who are really interested in that part of the sector, again, it's a nice day in London. The Excel's beautiful, and it's an afternoon one. You ain't got to rush in the morning traffic. And I think there's a few niceties on afterwards as well. So that's all good. Summarise the opportunity for us, Endell. What is the opportunity here that could be in front of you, whether you take that opportunity or not? What's the thing?
Well, based on the information that's been provided by Ian today, you know, the installation of over 100,000 in just a single space of a year.
Yep.
And I can't remember what the new builds are meant to be applied by the government, how many are meant to build every year. So, you know, that is going to be a continuous growth over a long period of time that I would imagine is going to be a great opportunity for people that are already in the market and potentially people that would be looking to get into the market. And I can tell you that I will probably be certainly one of those that will be looking to get into that over the duration of probably the next year.
Okay, and we'll follow you up on that. And with a obviously new government change, they're sledging their house building green. That's their opening mandate. We've got a budget coming up. It could be one of the things that gets raised up on that as well. It's inevitable, isn't it, that we're going to have to go across to a more carbon-free energy source, which is electricity. Okay, so just give those electricians that last Welshman. Imagine you're at the rugby, you've got the team going out there. You're currently 15 minutes off winning the cup and league double.
I'm already welling up.
Okay, so you give us that cry to electricians. What we got to do?
It's like you said, it's an opportunity that exists now. It's a growing opportunity. As I say, the new build market, as you quite rightly mentioned, is changing. It has to change. The house builders know that. The house builders are already getting ready for that. They're training their subcontractors. They're organising their supply chain. The government's target is 600,000 by 2028. 2050 is a legally binding commitment that the UK has to try and become net zero by 2050. If we don't hit 600,000, we don't hit 2050. So the government will continue to grease those wheels, apply that pressure. The house builders that we talk to are already starting to install heat pumps. They're already talking to us about cooling.
Even though they're not mandated?
Even though they're not mandated.
Because they know they want to get ahead of it.
Because they have to get, they can't. If they wait until it's, right, tomorrow you have to start doing it, they're just going to be all over the place. So the budget's going to be important, like you said. I think we'll see some more announcement about when that future home standard will effectively be decided. We think you'll see a real jump in new build probably around about the end of 2026. But as I say, the numbers are already growing for us in that new build market. That doesn't, we're not even talking about the retrofit market yet, or we have been, but you add those two things together, it's a big opportunity.
Opportunity. That's all I've heard tonight, opportunity.
Just to finish it off, you know, at the moment there's about 1.7 million boilers every year installed in the UK. So still. So those boilers, slowly, they have to become low carbon alternative.
1.7 million air to heat.
Exactly.
We ain't got the people, have we?
We definitely haven't got the people. But we need the people.
Opportunity, yeah. Show me the money. Show me the money. It's been fantastic. I've been on a journey tonight. Have you been on a journey?
I've been on a journey, certainly around Part O. That was really interesting.
And what was your favourite words used this evening? No, it wasn't.
What was it?
Come on, Joe.
Oh, me Shushu Navarra.
He's back next time, folks. I can't wait for him to return. He's currently out in Italy. He's got a well-deserved break. He's working abroad at the moment. He flies then to Italy to take a holiday. G-Dog's on holiday. We're going to get back the wonderful Joseph Routledge as well, who's currently on holiday with his significant other in his life as well. So they'll be back for the next live stream. When? We're going to be looking at the VAT man.
Yes, who's to come. we wanted more of a fanfare. Gary, who's on the next show?
I have no idea because I can't remember. I just said I'm going to say the VAT Man.
The VAT Man.
VAT Man.
I'll be honest with you. I think this one's going to be really, really interesting, really fascinating. We've got Stirk Lambert Accountants. Now, I've said accountants, and everyone's already gone. But actually, no. It's going to be really interesting because certainly for a lot of those businesses out there around the VATs. And we've also got Access Financial Services as well. So there's going to be some
You're really selling it.
There's going to be some really good advice on...
2 weeks to wait for that. We'll left you on 10 hooks. It's like watching...
The VAT Man.
Yeah, it's like watching episode of 24 and having to wait a week for the next one. So we haven't got next time. We haven't got Jack Bauer on. We've got the G-Dog is returning next time out in 2 weeks' time. We've had some amazing times today with the people from Daikin. And I'm so confused with the way saying, no, it's been brilliant, Ian. And you've not been the same person on camera as you've been off. You've been world-class off and absolutely world-class when we got on. Dale, we've waited a long time to get you on the show. You were absolutely our first name on it when we could have a chance to get you on, so you're on, and thank you ever so much for taking the long journey up to join us. And we will be announcing the next round of awards. You've told me that all the judging's been carried out for the business awards.
It's really exciting.
Yes, and I'm waiting for my email to see who's won and which categories have won, and that will be coming out very shortly as well, so look out for that in the news. Remember, Lewden's link's in the description if you want to join and be the 50 people with the best packages possible. We've had Dale on with us, we've had Ian on with us, we've had a fantastic time. We're back in 2 weeks with the VAT Man. VAT Man.